Washington's clear-thinking headquarters.
The Morning Majority, 5 to 9 on 630 WMAL.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you. 7:07 on the Morning Majority. Brian Eamon, Mary Catherine Ham for the Daily Caller in the house this morning. Look who's walked into the studio. Former Virginia Governor Jim Gilmore, former head of the RNC, now with Free Congress Foundation. How are you?
Free Congress Foundation, Brian.
You know, we're trying to liberate Congress? What do you...
Well, actually, yes, as a matter of fact, from this terrible financial thing that's going on, among other things. So we're there.
Let's start off with that question. How bad is it right now in this country when it comes to the economy and our debt crisis? You tell me on a scale of 1 to 10. I mean, where are we?
Brian, first of all, thanks for the chance to be on and talk to your listeners. It's really pretty exciting to come in WMAL this morning. But the reason I'm working right now with the Free Congress Foundation is because we're really focused on the debt crisis that faces the country. We've got to do something or we're going to be in serious trouble. Already you're sitting here with 9% unemployment, regular folks out there trying to find jobs and can't find them. We've got a weak economy. The recovery is very, very weak. And, this is a country that's going to face tremendous challenges in the 21st century. We better have our economy straight. That's the most important thing.
Did you see or read the copy of the speech that John Boehner gave in New York the other night about what he wants in exchange for raising the debt ceiling? First of all, are you in favor of raising the debt ceiling? Do you think we have to do it? Is that the responsible thing to do?
The answer is that I don't think we should raise the debt ceiling, because I think we've got to force change. And we're not going to be able to force change if we just keep raising the debt ceiling and going deeper and deeper into debt. I mean, Brian, we're going in debt now $200 billion a month. So $200 billion a month. We're spending, about 40% of what we spend in the United States to run the United States of America is borrowed money. There comes a point, it's okay to borrow some money. We all take mortgages. I'm okay with that. Yeah. But there comes a point at which you're just transferring money to other people. You can't do that on a credit card.
So your position is essentially don't worry about making a deal saying we'll have these concessions in exchange for raising the debt ceiling. Your point is, hey, just don't raise it at all and then force the government to make cuts in order to meet our obligations.
The challenge is that I don't think there's going to be any deal forthcoming just in exchange for the raising of the debt ceiling that's going to fix the problem. So we have to have a long-term solution. I don't want to see, by the way, the scare talk is always, well, we're going to go into default, right. We're going to wreck our credit rating and not going to be able to borrow it again in the future. We don't have to go into default. We don't have to be deadbeat any of our obligations. We just have to rethink exactly how we're spending money in this country. We got to get that political discussion going. I don't know how you do it if you just keep on raising the debt ceiling and raising the limit on the credit card.
Well, it doesn't sound like, though, that that's what the Republicans are going to do. It sounds like they're going to make a deal.
They're intimidated. They think that that if they don't raise the debt ceiling, that we're not. The Republicans are not in the White House. The President Obama is. If he wrecks the economy as a result of not raising the debt ceiling, he'll blame the Republicans. So they're scared to death. So I think that's really the problem.
All right. So essentially, you believe that there was a deal will be made, although it shouldn't be made when it comes to the debt. But do you see the economy getting better at all? I mean, you're out there, you're talking to these people on a regular basis. Is it improving?
It's getting better a little, but not nearly fast enough. And just the other day, we saw a very anemic jobs report. Historically, the recoveries have been much more robust. And I think this is a little different from what we've seen in the past. And we just think that we've got to do some things, Brian, to take care of this, and we're not doing them yet.
Well, what should be done?
Well, I think that what we've got to do is get the spending problem under control. And right now we've set up a government and we've set up a country that just spends more than we can possibly afford. So we've established a program at the Free Congress Foundation. By the way, people can look at what we're doing on freecongress.org. We call it Freeze, Grow, Fix. We think we've got to freeze the spending. In fact, we think we've got to reduce the spending about $800 billion and get ourselves back to about 2008 levels. Secondly, we've got to grow the economy. And then third, we've got to address and make some adjustments in the entitlements. Now, I'm not one of those guys, and our organization is not one of those people that says we got to throw away Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. But if we don't make some adjustments, we're going to end up not being able to finance them. And then the programs are going to go away. So those are the three things. We're focusing mostly on growth, Brian. Growth is the way out of this. not taxes, growth. If we go really supercharge the economy, put in new laws, change the tax laws, get businesses up and running, stop condemning people that are running businesses and trying to make money, and get people excited about creating wealth in the future, we can get out of this. But it's going to take some time. But that's better than taxes, which just is a further drag on the economy.
Well, and growth can get us part of the way there, but like you said, entitlements have to be adjusted in some way. And as soon as you start talking about that, everybody, including the public, goes, wait, I don't know if we want to do that. What do you think? I mean, you see this, the Republicans being intimidated on the debt limit vote. You see it that way. How do we sort of have the stomach for dealing with the entitlement program? Do you see that happening from your experience in government? Where's the path? Well,
it's one reason why I'm on MAL this morning, because I think we've got to start the conversation and start explaining to people that we just can't do this anymore. There isn't any money. So we're going to have to make some adjustments. Now, I'm not talking about cutting back checks. I mean, I had a good, solid Republican the other day say, don't take away my Social Security. Nobody wants to take away anybody's Social Security. But in terms of growth in the future, we're going to have to make it more in line with the growth of the economy and get at least that under control. And other spending. Right now, it's just an enormous... Do you have any idea how much money was wasted in the so-called stimulus? $800 billion. The amount of money that we at Free Congress think you've got to reduce was the money they threw out on the street for people just to pick up out of the gutter.
Well, it was essentially a bailout for the states more than anything else. But that, and also the jobs that were created or saved, it's hard to calculate. I mean, the administration has a certain number, but it's hard to say for sure how many jobs were actually saved or even created.
Most of it was pork barrel for the purpose of buying political favors for people that were in office. And if you just put stimulus money in, when that runs out, then the job runs out. We've got to have genuine growth, Brian. That's what we've got to do. And that means you've got businesses that need to really get up and running and get started and producing real, genuine growth in this country with jobs that are permanent. And that's what gives you national strength. And that's what we're going to have with the challenges we're facing in the 21st century.
Former Virginia Governor Jim Gilmore, former head of the RNC as well, is in the House this morning. He's now with Free Congress. By the way, you got a question, you can give us a call. 1-888-630-9625 is the phone number, 1-888-630-WMAL. And you can text feedback to 68683. Mary Catherine brought up Medicare, and as part of Paul Ryan's plan, the path to prosperity, the Ryan doctrine, as I like to call it, he had a different view on how to tackle Medicare, and it's different for sure. And some people find that it's a way that we have to go. Other people say, this voucher program is probably not the best way. Republicans seem to be walking back a little bit on Ryan's plan for Medicare. Where do you stand on it?
Well, we haven't had a robust enough discussion yet about what people are going to do in the future about health care. We've had all this confusion about Obamacare and all the rest of it, so we really have not had a serious discussion about what things cost and what things are going to cost in the future and how we're going to pay for it. Yeah, actually, I congratulate Paul Ryan. I've met with him personally. I like him. I think that he's earnest about trying to do something about the future, and he's at least beginning to address these issues in a serious way. I'm pretty happy about that. As for the best way to do this, we at Free Congress would certainly be happy to not have the Obamacare costs added on to all the other debt that we're going to be facing in the country. And the best way to conduct it, I think the block grant certainly ought to be seriously looked at. I think it's a way of doing things. But I think we haven't yet really examined how we're going to control costs.
I'm sorry,
I was going to say, as a former governor, I wanted to ask him about the block grants.
We'll get into that coming up. I thought about that tease moving forward. By the way, did you do P90X with Paul Ryan when you met him? No healthcare, P90X.
Is that a firearm? What is that?
It's a workout regimen, I guess the answer is